Last month, our store generated just over $56,000 in revenue, and 10% of that came directly from automated emails. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 6 different types of automated emails that we use to generate up to $6,000 of additional revenue every month. And the best part is, once they're set up, you never need to do too much with them again. So we'll take a look at my store, how much revenue it makes from each automation, how each email is set up and how they look, as well as the single most valuable automated email that we use. So let's jump in. Go! So for this video, we're going to be looking at my store, which is called Pulse Audio. Pulse Audio is a software store that sells music software, so they're digital products, but all of these automations can apply to both digital, physical, and subscription-based products. So in my case, we have automation set up in 2 different platforms. The first one is called Metric, and the second one is called Klaviyo. Klaviyo is an email marketing platform, and Metric is more used for WordPress metrics, but it can have email automations in there too. Ideally, you'd have everything set up in a single platform like Klaviyo, which is what we're in the process of doing at the moment. So let's take a look at my store from the dates of the 1st of November to the 30th of November, and you can see we've generated $58,407.69 during those dates. Now, obviously, with being Black Friday in November, our sales were higher than normal, but with these kind of figures, it's really useful to see just how much of an effect email automations can have on your overall revenue when your revenue is $50,000, $60,000 a month. So when we look at Klaviyo during these dates, we can see that it brought in an extra $3,592, and our Metric automations brought in an extra $2,425, making a total of around $6,017 just from email automations in November. In total, email automations account for around about 10% of our overall revenue throughout the month. Let's take a look at all the different email automations. We'll see how they look, how they're set up, and how much each email series generates. The first email that we'll look at is the welcome series automation. This is triggered when someone signs up to the newsletter in a sign-up form or by agreeing to sign up on the checkout stage whenever they're purchasing a product. Sometimes a welcome email can be a series, but for our one, we just decided to go with a single email, and this is how it looks. So overall, our style is fun and playful. You can see we have GIFs and funny pictures in most of our emails. We just want to keep it light and fun. The point of the welcome email or welcome series is to introduce yourself to the customer and begin building a relationship with them. If you had more than one email in this series, the first one might introduce yourself and your business. The second one might ask the customer to follow you on your social media channels. The third one might offer them a coupon if they still haven't purchased. But like I said, for ours, we just went with a single email to keep it nice and simple. The stats for our welcome email were $775 in revenue. So of our automations, this brought in around 1.37% of the total revenue on our store and around 12.8% of our automated revenue in total. Also, it has a high open rate, which is pretty standard for welcome emails, of 65%, a 12% click rate, which again is pretty high, 8% placed order rate, and an average order value of around $13. So the next email that we'll look at is the first purchase is a freebie automation. This happens whenever a customer downloads a free product from our store, so they'd have to sign up for an account, go through the checkout process, but they're not purchasing a product, they're just downloading a free product.
Mr. Cheapskate.
At this point, the customer probably knows what our website is, who we are, how easy it is to use the website, but if they haven't spent any money yet, we want to encourage them into that. So as you can see, the segmentation for this is that we're going to segment by people who have got a freebie but haven't made a paid purchase in the past 5 days, and we're going to send them a 10% off coupon to try and entice them into purchasing. Again, as you can see, it's a lighthearted email with a pug, some silly content, providing them with a 10% off code that expires in 60 days, and we're including a link to popular products and new products in the store. So the stats for this email in November were $328 in revenue. So of our automations, it brought in 0.58% of the total revenue on our store and 5.45% of our automated revenue in total. It also has a pretty good open rate of 68%, which is pretty high to be honest, but if the customers purchased a freebie, they're more likely to open an email from us in the first place. It has a click-through rate of 5.5% and 1.1% placed order rate with an average order value of 23.48 cents. So less people are placing an order overall, but when they do place an order, their order rate is higher than the welcome series on average. The next email series that we'll look at is Abandoned Cart. So this is obviously super popular. If you've placed an order on any website that's probably a Shopify store, I'm sure you've probably got an email that's asking you to complete your purchase. That's an Abandoned Cart email. We have 2 different Abandoned Cart emails. We segment into Abandoned Cart Day 1 and Abandoned Cart Day 5. So generally speaking, Abandoned Cart Day 1 emails convert a lot better. If the customer hasn't converted by that point, they're a lot less likely to convert by Day 5. But it's still worth sending the Day 5 email as well. Again, you can see we keep it pretty fun and light. We have a picture of a pug with some sort of funny text in there. Generally, this works well, I think, because people get so many emails nowadays that if you can stand out a little bit and make a customer smile when they open the email, then I think you're probably in a good place. These are the second most valuable emails that we send, and combined, they brought in $1,188.16 in revenue last month. So of our automations, these abandoned cart emails brought in 2.1% of our total revenue and 19.7% of our automated email revenue, which is really considerable when you look at it. They also have a great open rate of just over 60%, a good average order value of approximately $108. Some of these numbers may be slightly skewed because of Black Friday sales, but overall you can see just how valuable some of these emails are in the grand scheme of things. The next email we'll look at is high value customer. This is an automated email that gets sent after a customer has spent a certain amount of money. So in our case, it's over $100 in a specific category on our store. So in our case, if the customer spent over $100 in a particular category of products, it's most likely that they have more budget to spend on further products in the store. So if we can give them a discount and entice them into purchasing, they should convert quite well. Overall, these emails have done pretty well because we're offering a large discount on a single product and the customers are proven to be good spenders. So this is what the email looks like. As you can see, we're giving 70% off a single product and giving customers a unique coupon to use.
Ew.
This automation brought in $910.09 of revenue, which is 1.61% of the total store revenue and 15% of our automated email revenue. So again, you can see the email has a great open rate of just over 60% because it's super targeted, has a really good average order value of $65, which is the price of the product that we're offering them on discount. There's a lot more you can do with this type of email, like turn it into a series, make it more targeted, offer more options in terms of products and discounts based on what they've purchased previously. But for us, we're keeping it pretty simple just for now. Well, our biggest driver of revenue in terms of automated emails is browse abandonment emails. So this is triggered if a customer is logged into the store and we know their email address. If they've viewed a product but haven't purchased it, they get sent this email. This can be an email that customers particularly hate sometimes because it feels like they're being tracked and customers don't like that. But interestingly, it's actually one of the most valuable email automations that we run. So because this is an email that sometimes can annoy customers, we try to keep it fun and light. And as you can see, we have a funny GIF, a message. We're sort of self-aware that the customer thinks that we're watching them. So I think that's why it does quite well. This automation brought in $2,972.65 in November, which is a whopping 50% of the revenue from automated emails, or 5.26% of the total store revenue in that month. So again, the email has good open rates, click rates, and a high average order value of $39.64 and an average revenue per recipient of $2.10, which is actually incredible when you think about it. Also, it has a pretty low unsubscribe rate of 1.3% overall, which, to be honest, is negligible and a lot lower than I would have actually expected before we had set it up. This was definitely an email that I was a little hesitant to set up originally. I wasn't sure if it would annoy customers too much, but over time, as we've seen the results, it's clear that customers don't really mind it that much, and it's so beneficial overall as an email automation. Maybe it does well for us, particularly because we keep it light and simple, but overall I think customers are starting to expect these types of emails nowadays, so they don't really get as annoyed as they might have been 2-3 years ago. The final automated email that we send is the review request email. This comes direct from our store and we don't have metrics in Klaviyo or Metric to track exactly how much it does. It's definitely one that I want to get into Klaviyo so that we can track it effectively and have everything in one place. But it is clear that it does increase revenue overall because it drives traffic to our store where a customer then leaves a review, but also it increases the conversion rate on the store as well. In research conducted by a company called Dixa, they found that 97% of participants said that customer reviews factor into their buying decisions, and 92% of customers hesitate to make a purchase when there are no reviews. Anecdotally, I suppose I know when I go to a website like Amazon, reviews are the first thing that I look at to ensure that the product is good quality, other people have purchased it, I check if the reviews are real, see if there's photos. So social proof is a really powerful factor in increasing the conversion rate on your store. Here's how we show our reviews on our product pages, and you can see other stores use a similar method by incorporating them into the product page using their own review system, like we do, or something like Yotpo, as you can see here, or Trustpilot on this store. So there you have it. Those are the automated emails that we use on our e-commerce store to generate up to 10% more revenue every single month. These aren't the be all and end all. There's so many other automations that you can do, like a customer win back series if a customer hasn't spent money with you in over 6 months or a year, an anniversary series where if a customer has signed up with you on a certain date, or if you know their birthday, you can send them an email. Alternatively, you can even send,
You can do this.
Alternatively, you can move customers into an email series if they haven't engaged with your campaigns. Like if they haven't opened the last 6 or 10 campaigns, they can go into a particular series as well. In terms of platforms, Klaviyo is genuinely incredible. We were with Mailchimp, we moved from Mailchimp to Klaviyo, and we found that the automations and the triggers for the automations were a lot more granular in their detail with Klaviyo, and overall it was actually cheaper than Mailchimp too. But like I said, you can create these automations yourself in your store depending on what your e-commerce platform is, or you can use something like Mailchimp or Klaviyo to create these automations as well. So hopefully you've learned something from this video. Let me know in the comments if I've missed any automations that you use or how you find automations in general.